We are at the very front line of the battle as Israeli troops get ready to make that final ground assault into Gaza. Now, as you can see all around me, the only people here are other members of the press. And just behind me right now, you heard the sound of multiple explosions that are taking place in the near distance. In fact, if the camera were to look back that side across, behind the soldiers and across those fields, we also saw plumes of smoke. If the camera comes here and just zooms in, you might still be able to see those plumes of smoke in the distance, the sound of actual explosions going off. Now, as I was saying, if you turn around, let me give you a sense of where we are. The only presence here is that of tanks, military vehicles, military fuel supply, military vehicles that are now asking us to get to one side. Also ambulances. You can see the ambulances here. And apart from soldiers, the only people allowed into this area are members of the press who are here at the front line to report what is now an imminent ground assault. And you can see everywhere the military vehicles are now heading to the front line. Now, let's tell you a few facts. Here's what we know so far. The American president, Joe Biden, will be arriving in Tel Aviv on Wednesday, but he will also be going to Jordan thereafter. He is urging Arab countries to provide some sort of humanitarian corridor to the exit of 1.1 million Palestinians that have been asked to relocate within Gaza. Also, the Israeli military has now confirmed that it has targeted what it calls Hezbollah targets. It has struck at Hezbollah targets along the border in Lebanon. Remember, there is a danger of this becoming a two-front war. Iran has also threatened preemptive strikes if the Israeli military, that is, actually enters Gaza. In terms of the bombing, and in the last few minutes that we've been standing here, we've heard multiple explosions go off behind us. In terms of the bombing, Israel has actually released official figures, and even by its own figures, in the first 6 days, it has dropped 6,000 bombs on Gaza. And as several people have pointed out, and once again, as we're speaking, we're hearing the sound of explosions behind us, as several people have pointed out, and several analysts have pointed out, this is more bombs in 6 days than were used by the Allied forces, by the United States-led coalition against the ISIS in a single month. So, yes, there are mounting concerns. The UN agencies are talking about there not being enough body bags to carry the dead in Gaza. Doctors are still refusing to vacate their medical facilities in Gaza. But if you look at what's happening here, you can see the very edge of the front line where we are now awaiting how far in we can go. A lot of the press is waiting for us. All of this is taking place ahead of the American president's visit, which will be critical in also determining whether the Americans will be able to restrain or guide or influence the Israeli response in any way. But in the meantime, here at the front line, multiple explosions, massive military buildup, fighter jets hovering in the skies, plumes of smoke in the sky. And in fact, you can probably hear a jet somewhere in the distance. We are being told, let the camera move in there. We're being told that we have to go. Let's go. Okay, let's go. And keep rolling because we're just getting into our car. Keep rolling. We're going to try and take you through what's happening. And we're being told we've got to get into our vehicle quickly because we're being allowed further ahead to the front line. And we'll keep bringing you ground reports from the war zone on the ground here with Anoop. This is Barkha Dutt for Mojo Story.